From the 40-yard knuckleball that defied the laws of physics to the timeless bicycle kick against Juventus, these are the 15 goals that defined Ronaldo's legacy. Starting off, we have the overhead kick against Juventus, which happened on April 3rd, 2018, in the Champions League quarter-final. And it all started with Dani Carvajal's cross from the right side of the pitch. Ronaldo, with his back to the goal, scored an overhead kick into the top corner from 6 yards away at almost 3 meters above the ground. The goal looked so incredible that thousands of Juventus fans gave him a standing ovation in their own stadium, a reaction he later admitted made his eventual transfer much easier. He became the first player ever to score in 10 consecutive Champions League matches, a run that stretched across 2 different clubs and cemented his reputation as the tournament's most feared knockout performer. Yet just 2 months later, he would do something far more incredible. That was the stunning hat-trick perfected with a free kick against Spain on June 15, 2018. Many things were at stake here. It was just 2 days after Spain sacked their own manager. Portugal was trailing 3-2 in the final minutes, and that was when Ronaldo scored a free kick with a brilliant curl over the wall and under David De Gea's crossbar. This marked his first ever free kick goal at a major tournament, his 45th attempt in his career, and made him the 4th player to score in 4 consecutive World Cups, as well as the oldest hat-trick scorer in the competition's history at 33 years old. The classic famous 40-yard rocket against Porto happened on April 15, 2009 during the Champions League quarter-final. 40 yards away from the goalpost, he shot a dipping knuckleball shot that flew all the way into the top corner. This won the very first FIFA Puskás Award months later, making the first goal in history to ever receive it, and pushed Ronaldo toward his first ever Ballon d'Or that same December. But he would score an even more spectacular goal 7 years later at 40 years old. Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Al Khalij happened on November 23, 2025 in the Saudi Pro League. Fans watched in anticipation as Nawaf Bouchal ran forward and gave in a long cross, and rather than heading it, Ronaldo jumped into a full overhead scissor kick that put the ball right into the net. It went viral instantly, largely because of the almost identical strike he scored for Juventus 7 years earlier. Many accepted this as proof that Ronaldo's skills had simply refused to fade even at 40 years old. Still though, Ronaldo's streak was far from over. 8 months later, he would produce a jump header so absurd and rumored to outclass the best of the NBA. Ronaldo's famous NBA header against Sampdoria happened on December 18, 2019 in Serie A. Right after Alexandro sent in a long cross, Ronaldo rose off the ground, meeting the ball at a height of 2.56 meters before sending it flying into the net. Sampdoria's own manager compared the leap to the NBA's top standard of athleticism, and Ronaldo tweeted about it himself afterwards. His coach at the time admitted he'd never seen anything like it, and the clip spread across sports channels worldwide within hours of the final whistle. But this isn't the first time he made a move that defied gravity. Just 2 years earlier, he did it in a 2-legged tie right in the heart of the UEFA Champions League. The Bayern Munich doubleheader spanned 2 legs in April 2017. Bayern were missing their injured star striker in the first leg, yet still pushed Real Madrid to the brink across both matches. In Munich, Ronaldo leveled the tie early in the second half, then scored a second for his 100th career European goal, becoming the first player ever to reach that number. Yet he wasn't done. The second header happened back in Madrid a week later. With his side trailing on the night, he headed home an equalizer, then scored twice more in extra time to complete a hat-trick that sent Real Madrid through. The 5 goals across 2 legs made him the first man in history to reach 100 Champions League goals. Yet, that didn't come close to what we're about to show you. A stunning goal that brought tears to the eyes of fans around the world. About a year earlier, in that same competition, Ronaldo needed only 1 kick to turn things around. And what he did at that moment was timeless. That leads us to the nerveless penalty against Juventus. This iconic moment happened on April 11, 2018. Deep into stoppage time of the return leg, Juventus had scored 3 unanswered goals to level the aggregate score, and Real Madrid's dominant European run suddenly hung by a thread. A foul in the box handed Ronaldo a penalty, and with the entire tie on his shoulders, he buried it into the top corner without a flicker of hesitation. It sent Real Madrid through to the semi-final for an 8th consecutive season, even as the Bernabeu crowd applauded the sending-off goalkeeper on his way down the tunnel. Yet again, many people saw this as an historic moment, but were badly mistaken, because just 4 years before that moment, Ronaldo delivered something far greater, the goal that ended a decade-long wait for the biggest trophy in club football. This is the penalty that completed La Décima, the historic moment that happened on May 24, 2014. It was the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid. Atletico had led 1-0 deep into stoppage time before Sergio Ramos's header forced them into extra time, with Real dominating the additional 30 minutes. Ronaldo converted a penalty in the very last minute, his 17th goal of that season's competition, marking a new single-season scoring record. This much-needed goal delivered Real Madrid's 10th European Cup, a trophy the club had chased for over a decade, achieved right on Ronaldo's home soil of Portugal. Just months later, in a curtain raiser most fans have forgotten, he was already setting the tone for the years of dominance that followed. 2 goals in the UEFA Super Cup against Sevilla happened on August 12, 2014, in Cardiff. In Real Madrid's first outing with new signings James Rodriguez and Toni Kroos, Ronaldo combined with Gareth Bale to open the scoring, then added a second himself after good work from Karim Benzema. It secured Real Madrid's first Super Cup in 12 years and set the tone for the season ahead, a small but telling reminder of just how automatic he had become in the biggest matches. But nearly a year before that trophy, an entirely different kind of drama had already unfolded, one that pitted Ronaldo directly against Zlatan Ibrahimović for a place at the World Cup itself. And what happened was incredible. With a spot at the upcoming 2014 World Cup on the line, Ronaldo's playoff hat-trick against Sweden happened on November 19, 2013. Portugal held a slim 1-goal aggregate lead heading in, and Sweden needed a big result to steal the tie away. Ronaldo opened the second half from a João Moutinho pass, and after Ibrahimović scored twice in 5 minutes, the momentum swung right back towards Sweden. But that was only admired until Ronaldo quickly outclassed him by scoring 2 goals in just 2 minutes, with the second rounding the goalkeeper entirely. Portugal's winning goal haul made him Portugal's all-time leading scorer and eliminated Ibrahimovic's Sweden from World Cup qualification completely. Even in 2026, this result is still mentioned whenever fans argue over which of the 2 rivals belongs at a higher spot in football's Hall of Fame. But even the greatest goal doesn't allow disrespect for opponents, and Ronaldo showed this in a powerful way. This happened in Ronaldo's return to Old Trafford on March 5, 2013, marking his first match back since leaving Manchester United for Real Madrid. He'd already told reporters he wouldn't celebrate against his former club out of respect. With United down to 10 men, Luka Modric scored a goal that put Real ahead, and just 2 minutes later, Ronaldo tucked in another goal from a cross by Gonzalo Higuain. This made the game to make it 2-1. But as others celebrated, he then stood still as his teammates mobbed him. Even today, this moment remains one of the most respectful and emotionally loaded moments of his career. A tribute goal that ended his old club's European campaign in front of the very fans who once adored him. But what happens when Ronaldo scores a goal stunning enough to rewrite a club's entire history? This is where the goals get insane. Ronaldo achieved 5 goals and a Real Madrid record against Espanyol on September 12, 2015. At the time, he had gone scoreless through Real's first 2 league matches of that season. But by the 7th minute, he scored the opening goal, converted a penalty in the 17th, completed a hat-trick with a Gareth Bale assist by the 20th, and then added 2 more goals in the second half. These 5 goals made him Real Madrid's all-time top scorer in La Liga, surpassing club legend Raúl, a record 2 decades in the making, broken in the span of a single afternoon against a local rival. Then we have the classic free kick goal against Portsmouth that happened on January 30th, 2008. The game happened at Old Trafford. After opening the scoring earlier in the match, Ronaldo stepped up to a free kick from roughly at least 30 yards from the post and struck it with a beautiful dip and swerve beyond anything the goalkeeper David James could handle. Sir Alex Ferguson called it the best free kick he had ever seen in the Premier League, comparing Ronaldo's strike rate favorably to legends like David Beckham and Eric Cantona. Ronaldo finished that season with 42 goals and his very first Ballon d'Or, the opening chapter of a career that would go on to redefine the entire sport. Now, every legend needs one last night that outshines them all. A final stand where the stakes are personal, the record gets perfected. Cristiano Ronaldo had stood for 20 years and aimed for the World Cup once more. Finally, we have the 2026 World Cup. Before the defining match against Spain, Portugal faced off with Uzbekistan on June 23, 2026. It was the group stage of his sixth and final World Cup. Portugal had opened the tournament with a goalless draw against DR Congo, and questions were already swirling about whether the 41-year-old had anything left in the tank at the biggest tournament of them all. Early in the first half, a precise João Cancelo cross found him for a clean right-footed finish. Late in the same half, Bruno Fernandes teed him up again for the second. The first goal made him the only player in history to score in 6 different World Cups, moving him ahead of Lionel Messi on that exact record. The second goal took his career World Cup tally to 10, passing the great Eusebio as Portugal's all-time leading scorer at the tournament. It was the perfect farewell on the world stage, all achieved 2 decades after he first stepped onto it as a teenager. For 20 years, he chased the world title, carried Portugal on tired shoulders, and gave his full effort until the final whistle. Ronaldo may have lost his final World Cup, but he lost gracefully. Now, of course, there are dozens more Ronaldo goals across 4 different clubs and 2 decades that shocked the world, and picking only 15 was never going to be easy. But we would love to hear your own picks in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now click on the next video on your screen. You will enjoy it. Until next time, take care.